Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this month's Masterclass. This month we're talking about out of home or digital out of home. And I'm pleased to announce that Stackadapt will be taking us through a masterclass on programmatic digital out of home in this session. So these sessions are arranged and organized by the IAB in MENA, and they are aimed specifically to allow us to surface and share some of the great work that our members do in terms of learning, in terms of insights, in terms of research that they might have available that they're able to share with you today. So these sessions are free of charge to both members and non-members, and we hope that you get value out of them. So what you won't see in any of these sessions is sales materials. This is not an opportunity for our members to sell their pitch decks or any other promotional materials. You won't see any negative perspectives or any commentary on the market as a whole. Really, it's about sharing knowledge with the wider marketplace. So very much providing future-facing views, learnings, how to excel at this, that, or the next thing, training, explainer videos, published research, etc. So we've had some fantastic sessions in 2024, and actually we've got some fantastic sessions lined up for 2025. If you are a member company and you do wish to actually do one of these masterclasses, please feel free to reach out to us and apply to take part. You can go and watch some of the earlier sessions that we record on our YouTube channel, and you can use this link on the screen now to do that. And of course, you can have a look at what's coming up over the course of certainly H1, where most of the schedule is in place until at least April of this year. So have a look at the schedule, have a look at some of the other activities that will be coming up after the session that you have today. They tend to take place on Wednesday afternoons, either the middle Wednesday of the month or the last Wednesday of the month, and they're always at 4 p.m. So without further interruption from me, I'd like to hand over to the team from Stackadapt.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ian. I can actually, do you want to start with introducing yourself, and I'll jump right in?
Sure. Thank you so much, Khaled. Hi, everyone. My name is Akshat, and I'm the programmatic sales manager for Stackadapt based out of Dubai.
And I'm Khaled. I'm the senior manager of client services, looking after the MENA region, and I'm also based I'm actually based out of London, UK. Amazing. Well, first of all, thank you so much, everyone, for joining our masterclass today. So first thing first, I know you've already seen a couple of QR codes, but a part of our masterclass today is actually a part of the Stackadapt Academy. So if you don't have an account, we encourage you to create an account right now. So one part of the module is that there will be a couple of quizzes that kind of to re-emphasize some of the knowledge learning and some of the knowledge sharing that we will do during this session, and that nice cherry on top as well, that there will be a certificate at the end that you can obviously share on LinkedIn and so on. So there is something nice at the end. And the purpose of our call today, as you know, it's all about digital out of home. So it's for the digital out of home certification course, which will be all about how to kind of face digital out of home and how to think about it as a channel overall. So one thing to kind of think about is why we've actually created this course in the first place from our side of things. So it's actually a part of our continuous efforts to really help and empower advertisers to progress their programmatic educational journey. There are new channels that keep popping up. There are new challenges, and there are new ways of thinking outside the box and making sure to use multi-channel approaches and making sure to make the most of all the different paths that are available in the programmatic advertising world. So we have developed specialized learning path in the Stackadapt Academy, and more specifically for the channel certification courses, which this digital out of home masterclass is a part of it. So let's get started with this course. The time, as Ian mentioned earlier, we will be about 35 to 45 minutes. So obviously the full time of the session is about 1 hour. And hopefully there will be time for questions at the end. And what we will cover are three main modules. So we will start with an overview. That's purely going back to basics. What is digital out of home, and discussing like what is the opportunity within it as a channel and what kind of benefits an advertiser can have from the back of it. And once we finish module 2, we will start thinking a bit more strategy. What creative aspects, what aspects do I need to think about? What inventory types, what locations, and what best practices, as well as what targeting to consider. And then we will wrap it up with the last module, module 3, and that's all about measurement. So how to actually analyze a digital out-of-home campaign and how to think about it as a part of the wider marketing funnel as well within a multi-channel strategy. So during the course of the next 45 minutes or so, we will have a few videos, quizzes, and there will be a final exam. And obviously, after the session, we will make sure any resources are shared with you promptly. Without further ado, I will hand it over to Akshat, who will be taking us through the first module.
Thank you so much, Khalid. Welcome everyone to our first module of DOH course, which is a digital out of home overview. Let's get started. In this DOH overview, we will be defining a DOH advertising, digital out of home opportunity, and the benefits of using DOH as a medium. So how did it all begin? What happens to advertising when a person turns off their screens and leaves their home? Whether a person spots a big billboard on Sheikh Zayed Road or an ad spot at the metro station on their way to work, out-of-home advertising is working to help marketeers reach users wherever they go. Out-of-home placements have always been an integral part of advertising strategies due to its ability to reach mass audiences at once. Prior to recent advancements in technology, this traditional format posed multiple challenges to modern marketeers, such as a bottlenecked buying system, no automation, and a lack of data across both targeting and measurements. Luckily, we have come a long way, and out-of-home placements can be digital. The rise of digital out-of-home advertising can be credited to the availability of high-definition screens, mobile connectivity, and data analytics. These innovations enable the opportunity for programmatic digital out-of-home advertising, which is more cost-effective, scalable, and measurable for marketeers. So let's jump right in. What is DOOH, or digital out-of-home advertising? When we go on the next screen, okay, DOOH often, digital out of home, what we call as DOOH, is any digital advertising that is found outside of the home and in a public environment. DOOH advertising can be integrated with programmatic technology to automate the buying, selling, and display of the ads on selected screens. It enables advertisers to target specific audiences and adjust their ad campaigns based on real-time data. An example of DOH ad is promoting an event is shown here on the digital billboard on your screens. DOH examples include screens or display placed in a venue type such as airports, shopping malls, train stations, and bus stops to reach a larger audiences. DOH ads can be in the form of static or dynamic content, and it can display text, images, videos, and even interactive experiences. This familiar yet new channel is increasingly becoming a champion of programmatic advertising. Next screen, please. Thank you. So why DOH? DOH advertising is gaining popularity due to its ability to provide more precise targeting and measurement solutions, as well as the ability to reach audiences in high traffic areas with high engagement rates. DOH is resolving many obstacles for marketeers, and it is proving to be quite a success. In fact, it is projected that the global DOH advertising revenue will grow to nearly 16.6 billion US dollars by 2027. As this channel continues to grow, there is also peace of mind knowing that consumers are supportive and incredibly receptive to DOH advertising, as it presents useful information in a non-intrusive way for our users. Consumers actually see DOH as a trustworthy and informative channel. In fact, 77% of consumers who were surveyed worldwide responded that DOH is very informative. 70% of consumers also felt that DOH ads feel really current. The terms entertaining ranked as DOH's highest ranked attributes along with innovative, memorable, and trustworthy. In another survey conducted by Vistar Media M4, they compared DOOH to other marketing strategies such as TV advertising and social media, and 54% of respondents answered that they are very likely to believe messaging in OOH advertising. In another survey, 53% of consumers also answered that DOOH ads gave them all the information needed to make a purchase online. It would not be wrong to say that DOOH is quickly establishing itself as a trustworthy and informative channel. DOOH ads are highly viewable as people go out and about in their daily lives. In fact, 98% of consumers have visited a DOOH venue type in the past 30 days, and out of which 84% consumers recall on OOH advertisements. Consumers are viewing and perceiving these ads on a daily basis. Due to their large-scale formats outside of the home, DOOH ads are memorable and impactful. Advertisers can now take advantage of these valuable placements. So, what are the other main advantages of DOOH? Let's deep dive. The first benefit is that DOOH is a cookieless solution. DOOH operates on screens that serves the masses and not on personal device. Users cannot click on the ad and therefore it doesn't use or collect cookies. Since it doesn't require first or third party data to target audiences, advertisers can now use contextual targeting to communicate their message to the right audiences. And by reaching target audiences in contextual environments, like on digital signage at the mall, in elevators or at gas pumps, you can continuously reinforce your brand's messaging in relevant moments. For example, an advertiser could promote their global car rental services at an airport as the consumers are waiting for their flights. The next benefit of DOH is the ease of management. One of the main obstacles with traditional out of home is the speed of buying the ad space, implementing the creative, and then managing the creative. With programmatic DOH platforms, this process is made simple through real-time bidding as it automates the buying and the delivery of DOH ads on digital billboards and other signages. Advertisers have the flexibility to report multiple different creatives, different ad spots, as well as test out different ad frequencies and even budget allocations. The third benefit is that DOH is an expansive and engaging channel. Ads on DOH is shown to the masses and it is not being dismissed by consumers. These ads are everywhere. DOH ads can be served in locations like transport hubs such as bus stops or a long taxi ride. Using DOH to entertain with games and competitions or share interesting information can be a powerful way to build brand relationship with your audiences and catch their eye. Build brand awareness while also telling a message at scale by capturing an audience's attention with an ad that they can't skip over. For example, a consumer is riding a taxi that has a digital screen that plays games while they ride. Advertisers can serve ads between these games. It's one of the examples of how you can use DOH in a very interactive and engaging manner. The last benefit we will touch on in this section for DOH is the precise location targeting abilities. DOH enables advertisers to cast a wide net and reach a large audience size when they are served in the right context. DOH ads can bridge the gap between consideration and conversion. For example, a CPG brand might run their ads on the screen inside a grocery store or a supermarket and near the point of purchase. This captures audiences who are in an ideal moment to convert. A DOH ad could show a promotion of a new energy drink in Carrefour, for example. Shoppers who view the ad are in a position to pick up the energy drink the same day. This brings those shoppers directly into the conversion funnel. A lot of these benefits we have touched upon sets DOH apart from the traditional OOH advertising. So before we close module 1, let's do a quick summary of the comparison between traditional out of home versus digital out of home. With traditional out of home, advertisers can only serve one static creative, which is decided upon purchase of the physical ad space. DOH provides the opportunity to serve ads in real time almost instantly. DOH allows for hyper-relevant messaging tailored to the time, weather, and location where the ad is being shown. In traditional out of home, the ads are static and cannot be easily changed once they are selected, whereas on DOH, it's a flexible format for advertisers to make changes and get creative with their strategies. In fact, according to Vistar Media, 67% of media buyers says flexible buying options are a major reason for considering programmatic DOOH. These two channels require different level of commitments as well. Traditional OOH deals require advertisers to commit to specific budgets and flight dates. Ad slots are purchased on one-to-one basis, and there is no option to switch creatives mid-campaign. With DOOH, changes to the campaigns can be made on the fly and in real time. This includes updating bid amounts, budgets, creatives, and even inventory. The advertisers has the freedom to purchase multiple ad slots within a single loop. That brings us to our next point. Traditional out-of-home does not have the ability to readily measure and report on campaign success, whereas DOOH campaigns can gather evidence of success, such as impressions, which can be leveraged in a multi-channel strategy. That brings us to the end of module 1, DOOH overview. In this module, we have defined DOOH as any digital advertising that is found outside the home and in public environment. DOOH advertising can be integrated with programmatic technology to automate the buying, selling, and display of ads on DOOH screens. The classic example of a DOOH ad is an ad running on a billboard on Sheikh Zayed Road. We discussed the opportunity for advertisers within the DOOH space. Global advertisers' revenue from DOOH is expected to reach nearly $16.6 billion in the next 2 years. This success extends to the consumers as DOOH is seen as a trustworthy, entertaining, and informative communication channel. In the final section, we outline the benefits of DOOH and how it directly compares to traditional out-of-home. DOOH gives advertisers the advantage of being a cookieless solution, easier management over campaigns, expansive and engaging format options, and the ability to make impactful use of location targeting.
Hopefully, after module 1, everyone has a clearer idea of where does digital out of home stand, like the main overview of the back of it, and also the kind of opportunity that digital out of home present to so many advertisers in the MENA market, in the Emirates, and also globally as well. So one thing for this module, what we will be covering is just looking at the strategy point of view, what to actually consider when planning and activating a digital out of home campaign. So we will cover some of the ad specs from a creative point of view. Also, we will explore the different inventory types and different placements that are available from digital out of home, and then explore a few creative best practices as well as targeting strategies. So starting from an ad spec point of view, it is fairly quite straightforward. So as you can imagine, digital out of home placements do come in a whole different number of shapes and places. So they have the potential to look either like a massive vertical billboard or even a tiny horizontal screen at a grocery store. So the ads themselves serve in a variety of sizes and different resolutions as well. So the sizes mentioned in here, the 1400 by 400 all the way to 1920 by 1080. These are some of the most common ones, but they're not just limited to these. So one aspect is to actually understand what placement we're serving on, and you will find that there are a whole different range of placements. But then going into the actual ad type, it becomes a little bit simpler because there are two main ad types, as you would imagine, display and video. So display is, of course, as the name suggests, it's more of the static image where you can clearly have your message, where video can also play a short video that can go into the digital out-of-home screen. Within these ad types, it's really important to consider how you're actually delivering your message, and also consider options of interactivities to keep the user engaged with your ad slots accordingly. So one thing to mention, digital out-of-home ads are typically shown on an environment where one ad spot is shown to many people. So unlike traditional display, for example, it's served online, it's obviously a one-to-one relationship. You know you're serving this ad to a one person. However, digital out-of-home has the capability of being seen by a different number of people, which can help with reach. But this is not always the case. There are also chances for interactivities with certain digital out-of-home formats, where users can do an action to actually trigger an ad response. So an example of this, or the first user-activated, the first example is, first example of a user-activated inventory is that motion activation placement. So in this instance, motion activated inventory includes digital out-of-home devices or like digital out-of-home screens that has a sensor or a camera embedded within them, and they do detect when someone is present. So this kind of inventory is commonly found at checkout aisles and grocery stores, at supermarkets, and makes sure that the ad is playing when the user is nearby by using that motion sensitivity. But another one is also like a little bit more personalized, as you can see on the screenshot or the image on the slide, is actually touch activated placement. So the touch activated digital out of home screen only play an ad when someone physically engages with the unit. So that easily extends your digital and mobile strategy into the real world, where a user must touch, swipe, or scroll to view your ad, and that way you know that you have their attention as well and their engagement within the ad. So this type of inventory can really give digital out-of-home advertisers a bit of a guarantee that the ad is shown to a person who is engaged. But let's also discuss the inventory types within digital out-of-home. So even though these two types, activated or engaged interactive digital out-of-home ads, there are more considerations of where to actually place them and how to also think about them. So from an inventory type perspective, there are three main types, or like two main type and one subtype. So the large format, pretty much self-explanatory. So this format is the large media or the large format media that can be displayed on highway billboards, like Akshat mentioned earlier, the Sheikh Zayed a massive billboard, for example, even like on bus shelters. And they do a really great job of that high reach. So they're best viewed by pedestrians, street level traffic as well. So you know that you have many eyeballs on your creative or your digital out of home ad. The second type is place-based ones. So these are contextually relevant environments. So you know you're putting your digital out-of-home ad in a mall, or maybe like an office building or a gym, or even like a gas station and like a taxi rides or restaurants. So this format presents a unique opportunity to engage with the consumers in a natural setting, so you know they are in the right frame of mind. And the third type in here is almost a subcategory of place-based, so the point of purchase or POP subtype. And these are signs typically found in shopping destinations like malls or grocery stores or retail stores and so on. So this ad format gives advertisers, gives marketers the chance to influence the purchasing decisions of consumers. You know, if you have the right message within a mall, and the person who is in the mall most likely is in the mindset to go shopping, so you know that you can drive or influence the purchasing decisions accordingly, which can have a really good impact on consumer behavior. So all of these different types obviously will be placed in a whole different number of locations. And I think when you think about where a digital out of home ad can be placed physically, I think it is in the name. It's purely out of home. And there are countless of places where digital out of home ads can be placed. So all the way from airports to like transits to points of cares to like within street furniture in the street, within a point of purchase like a supermarket to restaurants, and the list is quite extensive, and that gives advertisers a really good wiggle room to be able to strategize and make sure to reach users at the right time. And it's it's really important that when placing the ad in a specific placement or in a specific location, to make sure that the message is also relevant and it's contextually relevant to the surrounding area. So digital out of home ad creatives should really follow a few rules, and that's where our best practice or our suggested best practice come in. So when thinking about designing a digital out of home ad, there are three main pillars I would recommend, or we would recommend, when to consider. So the ad to be straightforward, quality creative, the content to be tailored, as I mentioned earlier, and also to make sure that the creatives, the messaging, the images are compliant to the local laws. So starting with the first pillar in here, so having a straightforward and quality creative. This concept really goes beyond digital out of home. It's also applicable to other channels, but it's really imperative to make sure that your creative is easily digestible. So a digital out-of-home ad is often or typically displayed for a short period of time. People are also out and about. So it's really important to keep the message simple, clear, and easy to read. So you also use large fonts, less text. No one's gonna stand there to read like a whole paragraph. So all of these little touches it's important to make sure that the message is easily read and understood when it's placed right in front of a consumer at a point of purchase, like in a grocery store, for example, or even on a big billboard and on a high street. And it's really best practice to also use high resolution images, make sure that they are aesthetically appealing and they are visually appealing and eye-catching for the users, and obviously memorable as well. The second pillar in here is like having different content and to make sure that your content is tailored to the location they are. So a few examples here on the slide, so I'm not going to go through all of them, but digital platform can allow for dynamic content, which means the ad can be customized based on a whole different factors. That includes the location, so like you will be placing it in a specific office building or specific city and so on. So you make sure that your ad is customized, but also you can look at time of the day, what weather is in that location, and also consider using dynamic content to make the ad more relevant and engaging to viewers. So weather targeting is obviously a very obvious example. Like if the weather is raining, then making sure that the creative has a rain relevant message. As you can imagine, if you apply this strategy here in London, UK, means it will be displayed all the time because it never stops raining. But the point is to make sure that it is relevant to where it's delivered. And it's really important to make sure that the ad is also memorable. And the last pillar in here as well is compliance, and I think that's an incredibly important one as well. So to ensure that it is compliant with the local regulation. So as it can be shown in multitude of locations, for this reason, digital out-of-home ads may be subject to local regulations about content, about few restrictions on certain types of imagery or messages and so on. So it's really important to keep that in mind when designing the ad. Ask the right questions to your provider. If you're dealing with a DSP like Stackadapt, for example, make sure to ask the right questions before investing into the creative to make sure that the creative and the messaging is relevant to where you will actually be delivering it as well. But overall, developing a successful digital out-of-home ad requires really careful consideration of the message itself, of the creative, of the context, and to make sure that it is aligned with the brand direction overall, and to make sure that not only thinking from digital out-of-home perspective, but also what your other channels you're having, and make sure that the messages are complementary and with the aim of pushing users down the funnel. By following these best practices, advertisers can really create an effective digital out-of-home ad to achieve that reach and also engage with your target audiences. And that brings us to the next important step to make sure that to actually have the right targeting and make sure that you're reaching the right users with the right creative at the right time. And from a targeting strategy point of view in here, there are a few things to also consider. So location, as I mentioned earlier, that's a very important one to consider. So it does allow for precise location targeting. You know exactly where the screens are to the latitude, altitude, latitude and longitude coordinates. Whether it's in a business location, you can geofence around it, have zip codes, whatever it is. And also another one to consider is the actual venue type targeting. So are you serving the ad in a mall? Are you serving it in health club? Are you serving it in a retail venue or a sports venue and so on? So to make sure that your targeting is also relevant to your product and your KPIs and who you're actually looking for from your marketing campaign. So audience targeting can also be used by digital platform by matching first and third party audiences to the actual locations where the digital out of home ad is placed. So it can look at where the desired audience are usually most condensed, and then making sure that the ad is delivered accordingly. So audience type that could be leveraged within digital out of home can vary from your website visitors to your current CRM or your current customers to demographic segments and even behavioral and psychographic segments accordingly. So, for example, an advertiser could leverage their own first-party data from the website's visitors, as an example, and then target to digital out of home, making sure where they are condensed in specific areas to make sure that these ads are shown accordingly. And one step further to this as well, you can also look at further down the funnel. So users who have been exposed to your digital out of home ad, to build an audience list of users who have been on these locations where your ad was shown, and then follow up with potentially a display or a native or another digital channel as well. And that way you're making sure that you've delivered your branding message on digital out of home, and then you followed up with potentially an action point and pushing users down the funnel a little bit more. It's a lot of information, I know, but this is pretty much it for this model. So I think what's really important to remember, obviously from an ad specifications point of view, there are commonly used sizes, but it's also important to remember that digital out of home placements do have different shapes, do have different sizes. So it's always good to make sure that you have the right dimensions when you're planning. Also looking at the inventory types, whether it's a large format, place-based format, or even a point of purchase format. So it can be placed within several different locations, from airports to gas stations to restaurants and so on. And finally, also going through some of the creative best practices from digital out of home, making sure the message is straightforward, easy to read and digest, quality images, making sure your content is relevant to the area it's going to serve in, and also compliant to it as well, while also finally making sure that taking advantage of any targeting capabilities that digital out of home provide you, whether it's from location to venue type to even like weather targeting, and also potentially from digital out of home retargeting as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Khalid, for this informative module. Welcome to the module 3 of this course, Digital Out of Home Campaign Analysis. In this module, we will be going over digital out of home KPIs, the marketing funnel, how DOOH fits into a multi-channel strategy, and how to get started with DOOH. So let's get started with this module. Some of the metrics and KPIs to consider with DOOH advertising are CPM, impressions, frequency, and reach. CPM is the cost per 1,000 impressions, whereas impression means the amount of times an ad was shown to a user. And frequency is the number of times an ad is shown during a specific period. And lastly, reach is the number of viewers within the campaign flight date that was potentially exposed to a DOOH ad. The KPIs for a DOOH campaign is dependent on the advertiser's overall goals. Since DOOH campaigns occurs out of home, it is important to consider some offline KPIs that can be determined success for an advertiser campaign, such as foot traffic as well. Next, we will walk through the marketing funnel. The marketing funnel provides an illustration of your campaign's timeline or journey to conversions. Depending upon what tactics you are using and what your campaign goals are, we will determine whether you are placed within the funnel, on what kind of funnel stage you are. So in the marketing funnel, there are 3 main stages: top funnel, mid funnel, and the lower funnel. In the top funnel, at the top of the funnel, the goal is to increase brand awareness and interest. This is generally measured by metrics such as a unique reach, cost per acquisition, and number of new contacts generated. In the mid of the funnel, consumers are likely already aware of your brand, but are in need of more information before they convert. At this level, the focus is on interest and consideration by reinforcing the brand further and generate some soft conversions. This means that mid-funnel campaigns should be geared towards driving purchase intent. To measure this, metrics like time on site, bounce rate, and page views should be monitored. At the last stage is lower funnel, and at this stage of the funnel, prospects are primed and ready for conversion. The customers knows and trust the brand and its offerings, but could do with one final nudge on the right direction. Here, as you have likely guessed, conversions and referrals are the goals. How can DOH be used at each stage of the marketing funnel? Let's find out. Starting at the top of the funnel, we have awareness and interest stage. Since DOH can reach mass audiences at once, this is a clear winner for this stage of funnel. But let's dive in deeper. DOH can be used to generate brand awareness by displaying high impact creatives measuring on screen located in high traffic areas. Advertisers can leverage programmatic technology to target specific audiences segments and display relevant messages in real time. In fact, 83% of consumers on their highway notice OOH ads while driving. This is an example of a perfect opportunity to reach users out of the home with minimal disruption and in a high traffic area, pun intended. This format is memorable and is being recognized by audiences, making it the perfect first touch to set the foundation for further messaging down the funnel. Next, we move on towards the middle of the funnel for the consideration stage. Okay, DOH can be used to influence consumers' consideration by displaying dynamic and personalized messaging. One of the benefits of DOH is that you can update your ads in moments with ease. For example, advertisers can display real-time product information, promotions, and social media feeds to capture the attention of consumers who are in the consideration stage of the funnel. According to a study by Sightline, 66% of consumers say that DOH encourages them to search online. For example, perhaps a DOH ad at an airport gate is promoting 20% off running shoes with a promo code or a scannable QR code. A person waiting for their flights to board might consider this offer from the DOH placement and visit the brand site. This will actually increase the site visits with a DOH ad. After consideration comes the conversion phase. So let's dive in on the conversion. Can we have the next slide, Khalid? Thank you. DOH can be used to drive conversions by displaying calls to action and driving foot traffic to brick and mortar locations. For example, advertisers can display location-based messaging and promotions to consumers who are in close proximity to their stores or products. 69% of viewers took some sort of action after seeing a digital street level ad. Actions included searching for an advertiser online, visiting the business in person, or posting to social media. DOH is a champion of influencing consumer decisions. We have reached at the bottom of the funnel where after conversion, the focus is retaining the consumers and customers gathered through the campaign journey and how we can do that. So DOH can be it can be used to foster customer loyalty by displaying personalized and relevant messaging that encourages repeat purchase. For example, advertisers can display campaigns centered around their loyalty programs and offer exclusive offers to consumers who have previously engaged with their brands. Uh, as a matter of fact, 94% of consumers responded that QR codes are very useful on DOH ads. It's a survey done by Ratcliffe and Kantar a couple of years back. The call to action for retention campaign could be, I don't know, become a member today, or another option could be to include a QR code that can be scanned for an exclusive discount. We have seen our customers using QR code extensively on DOH campaigns because it promotes discounts or it can give very relevant personalized messaging. Here's an example of how to reach users at different stages of the funnel using DOH ads. The first one is create brand awareness through a fun and upbeat digital out of home campaign on a podcast. Second is using the audience from your audio ad, create a retargeting video campaign showing the brand's 20% off sale promo ad. Third could be, as we move down the funnel, there is an opportunity to further target these users with a display ad with a personalized offer that leads them to the brand site. This strategy will create the final push that will encourage the audiences to click through and add an item to their cart, subscribe to their brands, emails, or whatever this desired conversion we are expecting from the campaign through this funnel. In fact, 98%, 91% of advertisers believe the DOH can deliver both upper and lower funnel metrics as it follows further measurement opportunities outside of monetary ROI, like websites or store traffic. Plus, it can increase social engagement through the use of hashtags and increase brand recall and awareness. Next, we talk about the marketing funnel. So the marketing funnel is best supported when you use a multi-channel strategy, which is our next topic. Multi-channel strategy takes advantage of all the programmatic channels available in an effort to achieve the full potential of the campaign. Why not add DOH into the mix? According to Vistar, 86% of the US advertising executives plan to integrate DOH into a multi-channel campaign. In addition, research from Nielsen and analytics partners and on-device research found 68% lift in footfall traffic when DOH is combined with social messaging. Within programmatic, DOH works to extend campaigns in another programmatic channels with consumers when they are off when they're off their phones and outside of the home. Can you have the next slide, Khalid? Thank you. So if an advertiser wanted to get started in DOH, they may want to consider a few of these steps. The first one is to identify target audiences. By setting a clear definition of the demographics, interests, and behavior of the audience advertisers want to reach with a DOH campaign, it will determine choices over the types of placements and strategies used, where they are shown, and what schedule to show them in. Second one is to choose a demand side platform or a DSP, as we call. In order to run programmatic DOH, it is wise to partner with a demand side platform or a DSP. A DSP will enable the purchasing and managing of DOH ads inventory and campaign measurement at a very easy level for the advertiser. Third one is research and get to know your industry. The programmatic space is constantly evolving and strategies can change quickly over time. Before launching a DOH, advertisers should consider their campaign goals and decide whether DOH fits within their vision or not. Stay up to date on the latest trends and industry best practices as well. The last one out here is test and optimize. With DOH, advertisers can quickly see what is and what is working with their brands and campaigns, and optimize along the way, making it the perfect format to explore new strategies while they test the right formats and the right strategies for their campaigns. With this comes to a completion of our module 3. This module's focus was digital out-of-home campaign analysis. We discussed DOH KPIs, which are CPM, impression, frequency, and reach. We also discussed digital out-of-home throughout the marketing funnel. DOH ads content can be tailored to whatever level of funnel depending upon the goals, such as awareness, interest, consideration, conversion, or retention. DOH can be used in a multi-channel strategy as a form of cross-channel targeting, sequential messaging, and complementary messaging as well. We finished off this module by going over some tips to get started running programmatic campaigns. These steps are to identify target audiences, choose a DSP, do research on the industry, and stay up to date, and to test and optimize strategies. Next up is the course summary. So to summarize, in the time frame what we had with you for the last couple of minutes, we went over 3 modules. In module 1, we discussed about digital out-of-home overview. We have defined the channel, discussed the out-of-home opportunity, and we have gone over the benefits of using DOH. In module 2, we have discussed DOH strategy. We have covered DOH ad specs, DOH inventory types and placements, DOH best practices, and also went over few targeting strategies that are available with DOH. And finally, in module 3, we analyzed what it means to drive success in a DOH campaign by addressing DOH KPIs, DOH role in the marketing funnel, how it can be incorporated into a multi-channel strategy, and some steps on how to get started running programmatic DOH campaigns.
I highly encourage you to go to the Stackadapt Academy, make sure to enroll into the advanced programmatic course, because this will give you a bit more information about advanced programmatic items as well. And also you'll be able to have a copy of your campaign planning checklist, which includes digital out of home as well as other channels.
And thanks to everyone who made the time to attend. As I said, these sessions will be made available on our YouTube channel in the next couple of days. So hopefully we see you at the next session. Cheers, everybody.